What's going on, everybody? We're back to talk more Vikings football. It's me, Jamie with GG Sports, Dave with Minnesota Sports Talk. No Casey today. He's gone for a wedding. So it's us two, and we're getting Johnny Football from last week as well in here. And we're gonna discuss positional battles. But first off, what's up, Skol Mafia? I'm ready for some Purple Hulk. Bob Sweet, are you still in here? What's going on, dude? Let's do this. What's going on, Gary? What up, dude? Let's get the party started. Killer Gaming. Vikings suck. Come on, man. You guys are about to be in the cellar of the division. That's wild to come in here and say that. Intro tune makes me smile because I know this begins. Let's go, Gary. That's the shit we wanna hear right there. What's going on, Dave? How we doing?
And I just can't. I can't keep the charade up. We're covering for Casey. He's moved to Detroit, and he's now a Lions fan. And good luck to him.
He's hopping on the Lions bandwagon, man. Hopping on the Lions bandwagon. I'm calling bullshit on all this Lions hype, but I guess he believes it to the extent where he's working with Micro Mike now, which probably is a upgrade from me, but whatever. Dang, we got both high. What's going on, Angler, Killer Gaming? All right, chat. We need some guys. We need some people in here. Oh, there we go. That's what we need. What up, Too Evil? What up? Hey, we got some Packer fans in here. We got some Packer fans.
Evil's showing up early, man.
Yeah, dude. That's what we need, Too Evil. Make sure we go after these Packer fans in here. Don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to
All
do
right.
that.
We're already in double digits. Make sure you hit like. Push these shows, both of us.
Yeah. And just like every show, we're giving away a Justin Jefferson rookie card at the end of the show. Hashtags go in the comments. Like the video. Everybody like the video. And subscribe to our channels, GG Sports Podcast and Minnesota Sports Talk. Everything is in the description there. But hashtag Skol in the comments, which I actually have to set that up. Not forget about that this time.
Yeah, there. And we're waiting for Johnny. He's having technical
difficulties.
He's getting an error.
Trying to get in here?
Yeah, I'm going to tell him to restart your computer.
There we go. There Gary is. Hashtag Skol. Gary's still trying to win one. We need him to win one. I want him to win one, but right now he's the only one in here. So, I mean, hey, if it ends this way, he'll be the winner. What's going on, Dave? Yup, that's me, a fan of the best franchises.
Of all time. I haven't heard it called Oat before.
Of all time. Yeah, you threw me off on that one.
Yeah.
That must be a Gen Z thing.
That was like in the chat when you were like, took me a while to understand what Purple and Scold Media was.
Oh yeah.
Purple ends at Possum.
I was like, I'm like, he kept calling it that. I was like, what?
Pasm? What's Pasm? It took me a second, but Jesus, you were like, you had to announce it.
I know. I was gonna say. I was like, oh dang, I kind of like it, dude. I kind of like when you can just make an acronym or something.
Looks like Johnny's joining cell phone style.
Cell phone style.
Yeah. Yes. What's going on, dude? What is going on?
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, you're earning the big money. You tend to trade in the try to trade in the computer.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Did it crap out on me or what?
Crapped out on me. It's giving me guff. I think
that's all right. That's all right.
Might have had an update or something that it has to do. I don't know. It's still thinking about it. I'll switch to computer if I can get it to work.
We got two Packer fans in here.
A little goofy. Two Packer fans.
Yeah. Mr. Swiss Cheese Brain is second cornerback.
We're waiting for a Lions fan to show up, but we know there aren't any.
Cheese Brain, is that a Caleb Evans then? You think?
Who's what?
Mr. Swiss Cheese Brains as the second cornerback is bad. But I mean, he's the one dealing with concussions, right?
That's I guess Evans is the one with the concussions.
Yeah, Evans. Crap out CP must be crap out CP must be Adele. Is it Adele, John?
No, it's a Windows Surface that I have a laptop. I hook up a keyboard to. First times it's failed me on this scale.
Yeah. Well, hey, I was surprised. I actually forgot that last week my phone died or I don't know what happened, but malfunctioned, whatever, my camera. So luckily it worked right away when I tried it today. So that was nice. What's we got? Oh, we were talking about you, Yogi, a little bit ago. What's going on, dude? Skol, everyone.
Yeah, Yogi, I was telling about your hot takes.
What's embarrassing? Losing to the Giants in the playoffs or missing the playoffs to a Lions team that had nothing to play for. Losing to the Lions is always like pretty embarrassing.
Well, the Lions had a lot to play for, and that was beating the Packers and rubbing their face in it. So that was probably their motivation, and you could tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like us losing the Bears. Now I know. I think I brought this up to you a while back, like 2018 when we lost to the Bears. They sat 2 starters against us and played most of their starters. They played their quarterback the whole game. Their running back had 8 more carries than he had the week before and had over 100 yards. I mean, they were not trying to skate through that game. They were trying to beat us. It was not their JV team.
Yeah. Right.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to grab my charger here quick.
Sounds good. The Lions had a bottom 5 defense. Clearly, they had something to play for. Yes, because he had 7 concussions in 3 years. So Swiss cheese brain.
Who did?
Man, that's Caleb Evans is what he's talking about. I didn't know he had that many in 3 years. I know he had a couple or whatever. Next is in Yogi, my guy. What up? Skol Mafia, you're back in here. What up, dude? How's the defense looking up in Minnesota? It's about to be at least top 20. At least top 20, but
I just recently did a video. Yeah. And we did hot takes, and Yogi said that they're going to be top 15 to 18, or I said better than 18. I wrote it down that way.
The boy Yogi.
So better than 18th, and that's yards. So you get ranked by yards. I said they could be anything, but I thought they'd be top 10 in scoring because of turnovers. I thought, yeah, we could be a 20th ranked defense, but we could be ranked 10. And I said top 10 in scoring because of the way we'll play. I think we'll cause turnovers. And that's what's going to happen. We give up a lot of yards, but I think we'll cause turnovers.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And that's why, I mean, when we go into this positional battles, which, I mean, the obvious one, I don't want to wait till John before we jump too far into it. But if we get a lot of turnovers on defense, I do think that I think you might see a lot of playing time from Andrew Booth. If that's the case, I think I've said it before, but I just think he has a knack for making turnovers, even though obviously you haven't had a chance to see it yet in the NFL.
Well, he's a good run defender too.
Yeah. Well, if he can just
when I watched video of him in college, I liked him like I liked Winfield, not the younger, but the senior.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that no? Winfield was drafted a few years
Antoine
ago, right?
Winfield. And well, when his son was a Gopher, and then
yep, and then now plays for the Bucks, and we should have drafted him, but we didn't. We passed him up.
No, we had to draft somebody that's not on our team anymore.
Yeah, that was we drafted Gladney, I believe, right? Was that the draft? We drafted Gladney in the first round. I think so.
It was one of those two.
They already melted. We haven't seen our play. Yours sucks. We definitely seen some play of Jordan Love. And other than like the last preseason game, but so far it hasn't been
that last time he was a starter, he had like 22 interceptions. So
yeah, something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Jordan Love is he's not that guy. We all know it. Hey, Packer, who's your defensive coordinator and who is ours? Let's get it, Too Evil. Flores, the best defensive coordinator in the entire league this year. Watch.
Yep.
Yeah, he had 2 concussions the last 2. All right, so we're talking about Caleb Evans. Yeah, he had 2 concussions the last 2 seasons in college. So that's 4 plus 3 he had his rookie season. So I might not be good at math. 2 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I didn't know it, man. Are you getting that from I love a source. I'd love to be able to reference that on a video or something. If you have something you can direct me to. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just, I hadn't heard the college part of it. So yeah, it'd be nice to have something to reference that.
I think Booth said he hasn't been healthy even prior to college.
Yeah, he's been hurt since high school, and
since high school. His hernia or whatever in his abdomen or something like that. But he got surgery on it prior to last season. Because what was his actual injury? Do you guys remember
abdomen? Some sort of.
Was it abdomen too? So
Yeah,
maybe he did re-aggravate it.
Well, you're talking about in the NFL? What
Yeah.
his injury was?
No, in NFL. Yeah.
I think it was a soft tissue injury, wasn't it?
Do you know, John?
I thought it was something like a leg, like a knee, or
like a hammy.
I thought it was a leg.
I thought it was like a hammy or something.
Yeah, so he didn't aggravate that same injury that he dealt with since
I don't
high
think
school.
so.
Yeah.
No.
I could definitely have him. He's had a few. I could definitely have him mixed up with the timeline, but I think the most recent one was a leg, like a quad or a knee or a.
Yeah.
I don't know why Skol Mafia's asked me if we're still cool.
We're still cool.
I got a short memory, Skol Mafia. So if you pissed me off recently, I've already forgot about it. I'm not gonna lie. I have a short memory on shit. So
what up, Skol for life?
Skol for life.
Evil is who's defense.
I think, hey, Skol Mafia, you're gonna be at the Skol Fest, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be at the game too, I believe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, shit. He's gonna be at the game.
Yep. So all of us will meet each other during that. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna.
Whatever you did to me, I'll bring it up then. Whatever you did to me, I'll bring it up then.
Yeah.
I don't remember, man.
Skol Mafia, you just have to buy me a beer to make it right with Dave.
Yeah. Round on you, man. Round on you.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, are you going to Saturday night too, or?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
I'm a local. I'll be there.
We're tapping you into Purple and Skol Media. We've already accepted you. We just haven't told you yet.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. So, all right. I think Johnny. Yeah.
We'll tell him to add you to the chat.
Yeah.
I told you, Johnny. We need to put you into the sanity wing squad of the group.
Yeah. Just quick UDFA pickup.
Yep.
Johnny, NFL has just been drafted by Skol Media.
It's our Ivan Pace. Our Ivan Pace. We got our Ivan Pace, our Carter right now.
Yeah, big small school.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. So I mean, everybody in here, the what are we calling it again? Skol Fest Saturday before the Tampa Bay game, home opener. All of us are getting together for what? We're doing a live show. Beers, the whole thing at a bar will be a good time. Next game, Vikes game, all that good stuff. But yeah,
it's gonna be a blast.
Last time I saw Jordan Love play was in college, and he couldn't even score on LSU backups. Dude looked like he never knew how to throw a football. Yeah, he can throw it hard, but that's pretty much it. I'm buying everyone a beer. Let's go. See, this is what we need. This is what we need. That's why everyone has to come. That's why everyone has to come. Hey, let's go here. $5 super chat from Too Evil. Let's get team record predictions from people in the chat. What's everybody's record?
4 men.
Thanks to
everybody's record.
I don't know how to cash it out yet. I got a AdSense email. I don't know why.
Too bad you couldn't just like put it into back into crypto or something.
It'll
yeah.
Right.
It's better than just sitting there, So
Jordan Love, 20 TDs, 17 interceptions, is junior year in college. Year before that was a little bit different, but that was his last year in college. 20 TDs and 17 picks.
17-0. So let's go with we're going to do the Vikings prediction. So everybody put their Vikings records, and then we're going to do Packers record. So let's start with the Vikings. And I forgot, mine was I think I went 13-4. I went 12 or 5 or 13-4 for me. We'll go 12-5. We'll say a little honest. What's your guys' prediction?
I ended up with 12-5 actually as well. I did a whole league prediction and 12-5 for the Vikes, because you can do the whole schedule on playoffpredictors.com.
Okay.
And so I did that whole thing. I had them 12-5 when the schedule came out. I don't think I've changed my opinion on any of those. Me and Dave did one too on one of our shows, and I think we both had 12.
I was 12-5.
12-5.
And when my hot takes, my number one hot take was that we beat San Francisco in the regular season. We win the tiebreaker on the 2 seed against them because we beat them, and then we play in the NFC title game. It was a trifecta hot take for 4th of July.
For 4th of July. Hope 3-14 so we finally can get a quarterback, but I expect 10-7. Yeah, there's no way we go through unless Justin Jefferson got hurt. And even then, like whatever you think about Kirk Cousins, he's more than he's always going to be more than a 3-win quarterback. Even with, we discussed who he had in Washington when he was playing for Washington. And yeah, you're right. He didn't really have a ton. One guy I think we forgot to say was Jamison Crowder, right? He was Washington. So he was probably like their best player at the time. But yeah, not much. And he still won more than 3 games. So I'm not expecting 3 games. We're going to have to trade up to get our quarterback future. That's just going to be how it's going to have to roll out. But yeah, 12-5. So we're all 12-5s all the way around. I might have said 3-4 when me and Casey did the video. 13-4. I mean, I don't know for sure. But all right. So now throw in your Packers. I want the Packers with 2 evil. I want the Packers to go 6-11, but I think they will go 8-9. Killer game and puking. Gary, worry about your own team. Kirk gets hurt. We fucked.
Gary said 7 wins, right? Remember Gary? He said, was it Gary? No, what's his name? Angler said like 7 or 8 wins one day.
Yeah, Angler has 6 wins for the Packers
6
right
wins,
here.
Yeah.
I think 6 wins is good for them. I'll go 6 wins. I'll jump on the 6-win bandwagon.
I have them and the Bears.
What up, Justin?
You fight for 3rd. It's gonna be so close.
I think they win.
Both just gonna suck. What's up, Johnny?
I think they win 8 or 9
for the Packs.
Mm-hmm. I do. I think it's going to be because what they never really leaned into enough last year, just because it was like the aura of Aaron Rodgers being under center. Yeah. They should have ran the ball down people's throats all year.
Right.
And I think they do that this year. And, Jordan Love's largely throwing out of play action. If he can, if all he does is limit turnovers, if he has a good, if all he does is limit turnovers and throws, I don't know, 8-9 picks, doesn't fumble the ball, they lean into that LaFleur wide zone with Jones and that O-line. If Bach's playing, I don't know, it's been weird stuff with him, but that O-line's still solid. And the defense should be better. Year 2 with Joe Barry calling defensive plays. I think the defense will be better. I think their play calling will be better or more conducive to the talent they have, but you'll have the drop off at quarterback. So those tight ones down the stretch, they might get edged a little bit if you don't really see Jordan Love pop. But I think the rest of the roster is really good. I think they're a little bit, I don't think they did it early.
Their defense was pretty good last year, and I agree that they'll probably be better this year even. Their running backs for sure. I think they have to be a run first offense. I think at this point you got super huge complementary type of running backs in Aaron Jones and Dylan. Their wide receiver. I think I'd still put a big question mark. Yeah, you have Christian Watson who turned it up at the end of last season. Is he going to get the same opportunity as Jordan Love? We don't know for sure. Romeo Doubs, he looked pretty good at times in his rookie year, but these are guys that are both coming in just to their 2nd year in the NFL. And then after that, you're talking a pretty big drop off, right? There isn't really much there for wide receiver because they lost Lazard, they lost Tanyan.
He's gone.
So they lost a lot of guys. So I feel like they're going to have to rely a lot on Christian Watson. I'm not convinced he's going to go in and be able to be like that number 1 type of guy, since I think he's still raw as a route runner and obviously as a catcher, as we've seen last season. But so obviously, I mean, he's not a guy who's going to catch, you throw, who's going to see the ball a lot as a number 1 wide receiver. I'd be worried about that, especially if the opposing team's number 1 cornerback is focused on him. So I think you'd really need Dobbs to step up.
It's kind of crazy. The Packers have only been in the playoffs 3 of the last 6 years.
Ooh, make that 3 of the last 7.
There you go. The one thing I do like the Love to Watson
potential. Could be
of that,
crazy.
because Love can uncork a few.
Right. He definitely can.
He's got a cannon. The detraction from him has nothing to do with arm strength or the deep ball necessarily. So if that offense is humming and they're able to manufacture some decent looks down the field, if they get people to load boxes up a little bit, that one route with Hudson and Love could be pretty effective. I think you're right. Like those rookie tight ends, I think will be good.
Yeah.
Drafted 18 of them.
Right, pretty much every draft pick.
Yeah,
mediocre draft still, but whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I don't know. I don't know. I think those.
Yeah, they have huge potential in their tight ends, but they're still first year tight ends. Who knows? I mean, it's so outside of Dillon and Jones, and then their offensive line. Man, there's not a lot of experience there. So that will be the big test. But they have a lot of experience on defense. They're not going to be terrible. Hard for me to say it out loud, but they're not going to be terrible. But I still don't think. I think the Bears are getting too much hype for their offseason. They were the worst. They had the worst record last season. So I don't know who my guess would probably say the Bears will be at the bottom of our division. But I think there's going to still
5.
What's that?
Frank said 12-5
for the Bears.
Yeah, every year he comes out with a dog shit Bears.
Yeah, dude, you can't go from the worst record in the league. Well, you can, it's possible, but they had the worst record in the league. I don't think they had a good offseason. I'm not gonna lie, they did, but not one that boosts them from the bottom of the entire league to 12-5, in my opinion.
So they would have had to tried to have a bad one with all the cap space and all the draft.
Right.
You would have had to seriously screw the pooch to not have a pretty good off season. If you can't improve that roster, over the course of one off season with what you had at your disposal, you should probably lose your job. But just because the roster improved doesn't mean they're suddenly a contender. Look how much better they got. Yeah, they were really bad. So
here's a take by Two Evil to Hope, Jordan Love and Brett Hundley 2.0. 2017, they were 4-1 going into to play Minnesota. Minnesota beat them, knocked out Aaron Rodgers. They won 3 games the rest of the year, and Hundley was their leading passer. So if that prediction holds true, then it doesn't look good for the Packers. I mean, it's not like they didn't have a good team, right? So
the Pac-12 QB.
Yep. So that's what we want to happen. So anyways, let's jump into kind of the reason why we're here, the positional battles. I guess, let's just go with, what do you think is going to be the biggest positional battles going into training camp this year? One right away, obvious, we've kind of mentioned it a couple times here, would be cornerbacks. For that, well, I read one article today. It was, who was it? It was Viking Age, I think it was on Viking Age. But they were talking about they think there's a chance that Murphy plays inside for cornerback. I kind of looked at him as our number one outside cornerback because we don't have one. But so I kind of so they kind of put him as the nickel, which
are they saying that he's going to start out there, but if they go nickel, he'll move in?
Yeah, I don't think he comes off the field in base defense.
Yeah, I don't think.
Because I feel like he'll probably shadow ones for us a lot.
That's what I was.
He shadowed DK Metcalf every time they played in the division. Maybe not every time. At the very least, this past season, in both games, in and out of the slot. He's done that with Cooper Kupp. And
this is why we have him on the show.
He was predominantly a slot corner, or projected as a slot skill set coming out of Washington, and then kind of turned into a pretty solid boundary corner.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's I don't think we have a better slot option on the team, but I think it's going to be matchup hunting for the most part with how we run the cornerbacks out. But you also have a lot of guys that are like pretty boundary specific with their skill set. You know, the Caleb Evans.
He is. I don't think Mekhi Blackman and Booth Jr. are. What do you think?
I've only watched 3 Mekhi Blackman games on tape. I watched UCLA. I watched the UCLA game was wild, but he was always on the boundary in those games I watched, and he didn't look like his hips didn't look very fluid. He looked like a pretty straight line athlete who can get to that next gear quickly. He has really good recovery speed. He has really
that
good
was
timing.
Part of it. Yeah, he has recovery, really good recovery.
He has really good timing and like ball skills, but I don't know. He didn't look like much of a slot corner to me when when I watched him. But I also didn't watch any reps out of the slot, so I guess I kind of see what they do with him at camp.
I really felt like Andrew Booth Jr. if he was healthy that he would like won the slot job, but he didn't work out that way.
Booth could.
I don't think they tried to put him there.
Booth could.
So
yeah, and Booth played. Did he play both in college? He played some outside in college.
I think he
was outside.
Yeah.
In college.
But I just felt that he could. That's what he's so aggressive.
He's not a real gangly guy. Like he's sort of compact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And really good against the run, and I'm like, or he gives up his body. That's why I was. Put it.
And that's
right.
Underrated.
He's got good ball skills too, man. He had one of those Odell Beckham style catches.
Oh, I think he has. I still think he has the best ball skills of any cornerback coming out of that draft. That's why I'm like, I want like if Booth, Dave was talking about how
including Sauce Gardner
for ball skills. Yeah.
Okay.
I did coming out of the draft. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. We haven't seen enough, but coming out of the draft, yes. I mean, he was.
Okay.
I think he was the most impressive as far as like pinpointing the ball in the air and creating interceptions. The thing with Sauce Gardner, how many interceptions did he even have in college?
I don't
nobody's
know.
even throwing his direction because he's so good in coverage.
Kobe Bryant had like all the picks on that Cincy defense because they were not throwing at Sauce. They kept testing him, and he would.
That's what with Sauce, you don't even know.
What was the other guy? What was the
Stingley?
other corner?
And you could argue Stingley had he had a ton of what is it? Stingley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he had a lot of interceptions. I think his freshman season.
I had Boo Jr. as a third corner, and I was happy if we would have took him in the 20s.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen. We took him in the second round, and I was like, ecstatic that we were able to.
So was I at the time.
At the time, So I'm not giving up on him. I know there's some people that say he's done, but he's not.
It's just his injury stuff. That is a fair concern. Obviously,
100%.
He had injuries. So I mean that's fair. But if you take injuries out of it, like I still think he can be that really talented player, and I do think he has. I think he has crazy ball skills. Like I really do. And I don't know. Obviously, you need to be able to cover it too. But I do think he has because he just like if you look at his highlights and stuff from college or any of his tape, he just looks like he's the receiver when gets these interceptions.
Oh yeah, there was one play. Oh my God, where he just broke on the ball and.
Since the Vikings still have drafted midgets outside of Evans.
he broke on the ball. Like he knew where the ball was going before the receiver broke. And he beat the guy by yards to the ball on an out route. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's very instinctual. That
was the one thing about him. That's why he was in. I don't remember. I think I actually ranked him number 4 in that year's draft.
Fair.
I forget who I put 3 though. I forget who it was for 3.
I don't remember anybody else.
But it was mostly because I was like, he just has that knack of getting interceptions. And yes, Mateo Stingley had the best hand. Stingley had not been hurt in sophomore. LSU was going to play wide receiver at LSU. That's why he went to LSU and played both sides. He did have insane. He was just his second year. He kind of dropped off a little bit, but his injuries and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I mean his
honestly,
freshman
I like her
season
corner
was
room,
insane.
man. I like our corner room.
What
They're
up,
hungry.
JD? Skol, baby, Skol. JD's in the room. That means you guys got to like the video because he'll be on your ass for it. And since we're talking about it, we're giving away another Justin Jefferson rookie card. Hashtag Skol in the comments. Like the video, like I just said, and subscribe to the channel. Everything is
No
below.
spaces.
What's that?
No spaces.
Yeah, no spaces. Hashtag Skol, no spaces. All one word, I guess. I think Evans is going to ball out this year if he's not scrambled his brains again. Andrew Booth is a prime Xavier Rhodes 2.0, and Blackman is prime Winfield 2.0. I still think Andrew Booth, I think he's just, I don't know if Andrew Booth,
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be quite Xavier Rhodes, maybe.
Yeah, kind of two different players. I mean, Xavier Rhodes for a very limited time was elite.
What up, Greg? Yeah.
And he was lanky. Yeah. He was a long player. However, every time he got, somehow, anytime he got beat, it was a hamstring pull.
Was too busy sleeping with college students than actually being a coach, hence why Coach O got fired. So anyway, let's just pretend we're not gonna worry about the slot position right now. Let's pretend. What's that?
I said, oh yeah, position battles.
Yeah, position battles. Back to position
that's
battles.
why we're talking about the cornerbacks. I stood on a limb and said Blackman is going to win this job.
Okay.
On the outside.
So we're saying Murphy's cornerback 1. We're working on cornerback 2, Blackman, Murphy, or Andrew Booth and Caleb Evans.
Base personnel, who's on the other boundary opposite Murphy.
Yes.
Blackman comes out and wins the job.
They've got Blackman, the rookie, 3rd-round rookie from this season, winning the job. There's a real possibility he could be the best one-on-one outside cover out of those 3.
I think it starts with a Caleb Evans.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the first reps going into training camp.
Yeah, I don't know if the season ends that way, but he has obviously more NFL experience than Blackman, right. Much more than Booth. We got to see him a little bit last year. Don't forget about that. Caleb Evans deflection on the Terry McLaurin drag on 4th and 2 or whatever it was against Washington to seal the game. Caleb Evans moving laterally, keeping up with Scary Terry across the middle. Amazing deflection. If his brains aren't whatever the chat's saying, if his brains are intact, I think he probably wins that job sort of off of merit. And he's also got a little bit more prototypical size out there. You might kind of hope he's able to hang out there. But by the end of the year, I feel like one of those other guys kind of shows enough to see more of the field. Because I don't know, though. Like, I mean, the hope has got to be Evans kind of, really takes a step forward again, because he's got that kind of size you want on the boundary. And then whoever else you're bringing in when they go to nickel or dime, like you've got Blackman, you got Murphy, maybe Joejuan Williams gets some boundary reps. I don't know. It's a really interesting mix after Byron Murphy. I could see anybody. But my early pick, I got Caleb Evans is my early favorite week 1.
I definitely agree that Caleb Evans will get the first. He will go into training camp for sure as like the one that's going to start with the first team reps, I'm assuming, just kind of like you said, what we've seen from last year. And that's a good point. You're talking about the Washington game. Was that his first concussion, whatever was that game, or was it the next game after that?
I think it was
like, because he got like all this hype, and then his concussions came in and it kind of just like stopped it in its tracks. And now we're like where we're at now with a Caleb Evans, all the way to the point where, he was like the Twitter darling as soon as he was drafted, to get into some Twitter beef on there.
He was Quasy's boy, dude.
Yeah, he's Quasy's boy, just like, and that's how I feel about Blackman this year. I don't know if Blackman's Quasy's boy or Flores' boy for sure, but it was a similar situation where, we traded back. Instead of trading up like we do with the Caleb Evans, we traded back when there was players available that we could have grabbed, and then we, over what some people say, picked Blackman early. So I think, again, it seems like Blackman could be either Kwesi's or Flores' guy again. But that's why I think I think how a Caleb Evans turns out as a player will show more than any player he's drafted so far, more about him as a GM, as picking players in the draft, because it was so obvious that was his guy.
And this is Flores' 1 year to get a head coaching job, right? He's got to nail it this year. He's going to get his pick of head coaching jobs probably if he turns his defense around. So I don't think someone's salary or a year in the league is going to matter to him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is finally the exact opposite of Donatel. And these young guys are going to have a better, and there's fewer vets now, right? To worry about. So it's almost like, what's the difference between a guy in the second year or first year, right? No, it's a nice to have a big jump. That usually when it happens, but if it doesn't happen, go with the rookie, right? That could happen. So yeah, I'm going on a little bit of a limb on Blackman, but Jamie, who are you saying?
I'm going with Andrew Booth.
Jr. Yeah, you're going with Booth Jr. So that's
we're all
three different people.
And I agree that I think there's a real chance that Caleb Evans is going to I think it's going to start with his job to lose, kind of. It's definitely going to be a battle between them. But I think Caleb Evans will get the starting lead. Though there's a reason why Andrew Booth, a lot of people thought he should go in the first round. There's a reason why we ended up getting him in the second round. And with outside of his leg injury, this he had this production and his playmaking ability in college with this whole hernia thing going on. Injured the whole time.
He was a first round talent with the injury, which is crazy.
Well, I should look it up real quick, but he was like a pretty highly touted prospect coming out of high school as it was, I believe. So that's, if he stays healthy, I think he'll get a chance. But again, it could come down where you find a good spot for him in the slot, and you have a Caleb Evans or Blackman on the other side of Murphy, if that's how it works out. But I do think I'm gonna roll with Andrew Booth. I still have hope for him. I still have hope. We got to make that Packers trade worth it, So
there's a lot of riding on his development.
Yeah, there's a lot of riding on that. Too much. Crazy put us in an interesting position with those trades. But we're hoping. I hope that Booth is the player that we all wanted him to be. So what else? What other battles do you guys think would be? I would say would you guys say that the secondary cornerback too, I guess we'll call it's probably the biggest battle that you can think of? It's up there anyways, because
safety,
as far as importance, safety. So obviously we have Harrison Smith. He's going to take down that spot for sure. But as far as, do you guys think it's a three-way battle between Cine, Metellus, and Bynum?
I think it's open.
And who do you think wins it?
I think the most talented guy is probably Lewis Cine.
What up, Score for Life, Barber? Yeah. Is that what you're going with, Cine?
I feel like this is a really fluid conversation, and it's going to be a very fluid role.
Does Bynum fit Brian Flores' defense? I don't think so, right?
Well, I think it depends on what he's doing with the defense, just because you can use Lewis Cine, the way they used not Javon Holland, the other kid.
Lewis Cine might be the fastest guy in the field.
I think you're going to play. I think you'll see Lewis.
What up, Rep?
Plenty. I think you'll see Lewis Cine as part of the zero pressure packages. I think you'll see him in the overhang, just being able to stay north and south and just put a shoulder pad into somebody and cut him loose a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think you'll see snaps from Bynum and Metellus. Metellus has been in the same safety room as Harrison Smith this will be his 5th season.
Yeah,
4th season.
I don't know the.
He's been barely.
He's been around
ever. I feel like.
Yeah.
But
this is his last year. This is his last year of his rookie contract, Metellus.
4th, yeah. I think he could potentially have a lot to offer just because he's got, he was in the right place when he saw the field last year. He made a couple decent plays.
I thought he should have started over Bynum.
That game 1 last year against the second game against Philly, Bynum had one of the worst coverage breakdowns on that Quez Watkins touchdown that I've ever seen.
Dontel says it was the cornerback's fault. I'm like, what defense in the world should the safety play the out route and the corner go long?
Yeah,
on the go route.
Oh yeah, it's sick.
Remember that Donatel said it wasn't. It was the cornerback's fault.
Sound like less of a dumbass running cover 2 invert on fucking 2nd and 8 or whatever that was on the opponent 30. You know, and he's like, oh wait, actually I was doing something really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like
like that makes it.
Well, at least he stood up. At least he stood up for the guy that. Well, he called someone else out because. Wasn't it? It was. We just lost him. He was. Who was our starting cornerback for the beginning of the year?
Dantzler.
Oh, Patrick. Dantzler.
It was Dantzler. He said should have went long on that play.
Yeah, that's right.
He was doing the right thing, and I'm like, what fucking defense are you running? If you say
yeah, it was literally twin stems. I think it was Goddard. The tight end ran a 7, and Quez ran a go, and you had your corner and your safety on that half of the field, and Bynum took the 7 route to the sideline, and you're what are we doing, dude?
I know.
And Donatel did it too.
Yeah, he was part of it. Yeah,
he did it too. He shit.
That's when I thought Donatel for sure. Like that's when I was like thinking he was gonna fire because like Kevin O'Connell, like they're like taking self accountability and stuff all the time. And then Donatel comes out and talks and like blames everybody but his defense when it was like pretty obvious that his scheme was a big problem with our defense this whole year.
Yeah, it's midway through the season. He's like, yeah, we just got to get the guys to learn the scheme a little bit. I'm just Bynum's interesting to me because you also might be waiting on a little extra development from him because he's a cornerback convert.
Right. It's only his 3rd year coming in.
Yeah. He ran a 4.6, so he didn't have boundary speed, never played slot in college. So they put him at safety. They're like, hey, this guy's a decent football player. Let's see if he can play a little safety. So
some guy in the chat said Ward and Bynum might play nickel. So
Jay Ward?
Which, Jay Ward was – I mean, that's what they talked about ever since we've drafted him.
Him being a corner. They listed him as a corner when they drafted him.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Because he's great against the run. If there's one thing he is, it's shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of those kind of guys. Him and Scene and Asamoah, and if Pace makes the like, you have so many guys that you can just unleash.
Yeah, our safety group is deep, and Ward not being listed as a safety. I don't think
buoy the corner room that everybody's so worried about. As deep as we are at safety, like we have a lot of DBs we could throw out there. You look at the deep depth chart as opposed to just the corner. You might say, yeah, maybe Jay Ward can play a little slot. Maybe, you do more 3 safety packages than 3 cornerback packages when you go to nickel. Might give you a little bit more flexibility in your blitz packages that way as well. If you've got Harrison creeping into the box or Scene more or less in the slot, or even Ward, like it could be an interesting way to go. And Flores, is going to mix it up. So I think like 8 or 9 DBs are going to see relatively significant snaps. Unless
don't sleep on Theo Jackson.
Yeah, Theo Jackson.
Yep. Yeah, I would.
Or Tay Gowan. Tay Gowan's on the team.
Tay Gowan, UCF legend. Tay Gowan, he's sick, dude. He's gonna make
John Reed. All right, there's the guys.
I don't know where John Reed. Too generic. Never stuck with me.
We're stacked. We're stacked. Cases, Eric Kendricks, and Bauer mashed into one. Like that. I hope so.
Mashed into one and like compacted down to 5'11".
Yeah, pretty much.
Or maybe I see what you're saying. Maybe it's like an Eric Kendricks build with a bar skill set. Maybe that's what he's saying.
I like that. I'm cool with that. So what are we thinking? So for corner, so I guess in my opinion, I would see. Like, is there anything saying that Cam Bynum's not going into training camp as the starting strong safety?
It's probably his job to lose.
Yeah, right. It probably is, and
I think it's open competition on that one. I don't think he's got a foothold on it by any means.
I don't think that either. I think just kind of as the returning starter, like
I don't even think his toe is on.
He might get those default. He might get those default first team reps early on,
right?
If he's not,
he's still young.
I mean, he might start out on the depth chart as
yeah. Well, I don't think there's any chance he finishes the season as our
starting safety.
Yeah. You hope not. You really hope not.
Because you really hope it's seen. You really hope it's seen.
If you want to hope, it's got to be seen. But
yeah, your hope is seen because obviously it's first round pick. He has all that speed, monster hitter. That's what you hope for sure. But even with Cam Bynum, obviously he didn't look impressive last season. But that's the one thing with Metellus is that we've seen a little bit of him and he had some good games. But it just reminds me a lot of Cameron Bynum his rookie season when he stepped in for Harrison Smith as a starter, and he had his starting games had some of the highest grades of the entire of all of all safeties that season, even though he had a small sample size. But again, Metellus had a small sample size too. It was kind of similar, and that's why I was like, I thought Cam Bynum was going. I was hoping he was going to be that guy because he looked so good in small sample size the year before, and then it never really turned out the way I was hoping throughout the whole season. So I that's like one thing with Metellus. That's why I'm like, I need to see more of him to like believe he could really be that guy. Obviously, he's going his fourth season and hasn't got a chance as a starter kind of for a reason, but we've seen that with Anthony Harris for him to come in and end up being had one really fantastic year as a safety for us after kind of sitting behind everybody for a while. So I do think there's a chance there. I think there's a chance I think Cam Bynum could still be a good safety. I mean, we've seen some good things out of him his rookie season. Last season wasn't the best, but maybe he could step up. I'm going to say that I do think he's going to go into training camp is probably the best. Like it's going to be his job to lose. I think like if he goes in and he has a really good training camp, I don't think he's going to have to play well. I don't think he's going to have a short leash for sure. And I'm going to go with, I think Scene is going to maybe not start by week 1, but I think he's going to be the starting strong safety at some point into the year. So that's my pick there.
You know what though too, it is a brand new scheme, brand new playbook for the most part.
Yeah.
So
always true.
So as a return starter, there's not necessarily that that feeling with the coaching staff. Additional like, hey, this guy knows what I'm talking about. We're gonna have less. We need to put into this guy. Let's have him go out there and start. And if you think about it,
Scene's a real smart player. Like he's a book smart guy too.
Yeah, and if you think about the scheme that's coming over, it's from the Belichick Saban tree.
Right.
Dean speaks a little Sabanese coming from Georgia, so like he might actually got upper hand in that department as opposed.
Yeah, that's true. I always forget how different. I keep forgetting how different the scheme is. It's going to be a completely different scheme. So a lot of these players are going to fit completely different compared to last year's scheme. I just, I forget to think about that, but I'll go with Scene. I mean, there's a chance Scene takes it right out of training camp.
I'm going to be sitting there in like the series. So. I'm going to be saying, oh man, I wish our cornerbacks would, play off a little deeper. I wish they put a little more cushion on some of the receivers.
Press it. I'm going to have a heart attack. Back up.
Hey Google, who are the corners Dave just mentioned? I love that you all high hopes, but reality going to set in. We are good in this. We are not good in second. See, Greg, our secondary is a massive question mark. But like John said, you have to remember we have good safeties out there. We have Harrison Smith, who's a great leader as a safety. So, we hopefully our safeties can at least help the secondary. We didn't see it enough last season when we had a bad cornerback room, kind of, other than Patrick Peterson.
And we have one very good cornerback.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what we'll get out of Byron Murphy this year will almost indubitably be better than what we got from Patrick Peterson last year, Cam Dancer last year. Don't come for me, but Duke Shelley last year. You got to expect a better season from your number one cornerback, which can really set the table for the rest of the secondary, you know, depending on how things really coincide.
Yeah.
Like, if he can take away, or maybe not take away, but if he can do a really good job against the opponent's ex receiver, and because Donatel, when he was really just shooting from the hip and just throwing shit at the wall towards the end of the season, he was having Patrick Peterson shadow into the slot, just tracking the number one receiver. He had him do that with Isaiah Hodgins on plenty of reps, which is like, we really have to schematically counter Isaiah Hodgins catches. So like he was trying to do that, and we just didn't have the horses to mix stuff up that way. This year we do have at least that guy, that queen chessboard, defensively that can take some pressure off the other guys for sure. And then if you have healthy, competent safety play, it could be like an average group.
Yeah, and it could be, and we have a couple guys.
It could be really bad.
Yeah, it could, but it could be good. It could be good because we have a few young talent, like we already mentioned, Andrew Booth, Caleb Evans, and Blackman, who if one of them can step up and be a good cornerback. Like right now, we're kind of just looking at them as like an average cornerback too, and that's what we're hoping for. But there's a chance one of them steps up to be a good cornerback. And if that happens, then our CB2 is a lot better than last year because it's pretty much the same group, but more experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I think our secondary should be better this year than last year.
I think the next position group is probably the biggest battle. Fullback between CJ Ham and Zach Ojile, or whatever.
Well, tight end 3. Now that Ben Ellefson hung up the cleats, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't. We just
CJ
spent
Ham
the money.
We
already paid CJ. It wouldn't be a smart idea to just give his spot to someone else.
I'm going with CJ on this one.
It's a hard one because it sucks too because the other fullbacks he's a Minnesota kid too, isn't he?
What if he's just undeniable and we just got to give him the roster spot? CJ tight end 3?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
wide receiver 2.
Titillating discussion.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any.
I don't even know if I want to talk about the defensive line.
So Ham is our guy, no question. Bynum is prime. Darren Sharper minus the jail.
Do you think I was serious?
JD's liking Bynum.
Did Greg think I was serious?
No, yeah, he's not serious. So yeah, these guys were talking about linebacker, which it seems like Brian is definitely Brian Asamoah is like, I don't even think it's gonna be a competition. The only one I would see is maybe Hicks. Like, it'd be nice if someone can step up and take Hicks' job. That's what he's that veteran presence.
We might see a lot more Troy Reeder than we think.
Yeah.
He's a solid player.
Right. Really, and that's one thing that we always forget. I think as Viking fans I think Reeder's probably the most
he's athletic too.
Afterthought free agent pickup of the entire offseason, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, who is this guy? Oh, he had 90 tackles one year and he runs a 4.3. What the fuck?
And he comes from the Rams, so he's been, KOC knows him, and that's so. There's. I think I'm not worried about, and I like Hicks' veteran presence. I'd rather have Kendrick's veteran presence, but I like Hicks' veteran. It's nice to have someone like that knows what he's doing out there, who's been successful.
Flores loves to have a big linebacker like that he can creep up into the.
That's right, Mateo.
That can really stop the run. He likes that archetype of linebacker as opposed to the Kendricks archetype. So it makes sense that they kept him. I would have preferred Kendricks and cutting Hicks outright.
Right.
Just because I think that trade-off is pretty minimal, but it has to be to do with how Flores intends to use him, because he's always had that like thumper at linebacker over the middle that can blitz. Like I think we'll see Jordan Hicks when he's on the field. I think he'll be blitzing. I think he'll be in on early downs to stop the run. He might take the running back flare or something, but I don't think we'll see him dropping into hook zones 80% of the snaps in the game. I don't think we'll see him backpedal as much. I think when he's out there, he'll be used the right way, but that might be, you might not see Hicks on third downs, which
That's
is
all right.
We never should have seen Hicks on third downs.
Yeah,
Never.
Right.
So I think that will be good. But yeah, I think out of the base defense, it's probably Asamoah and Hicks. I think you see plenty of Reader on late downs. If
Hopefully,
roster,
yeah.
you see a ton of pace on late downs.
Considering our depth issue at linebacker, Reader was a smart pickup.
100%.
Yeah, and he's one of those technical sound type of guys that you like to just to have in there for sure. Especially when you guys got Asamoah, who's going to be just that's what I mean. You kind of it's nice to have those kind of players in there too. Especially you got Asamoah, who's going to be sideline to side, like ton of energy, running all over the field.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Troy Dye's job to lose. So
yeah, Troy. Oh yeah, I forget about Troy Dye. Hey, this could be it for him. He's stuck around. He's stuck around.
Troy Dye, no gloves look is actually pretty sick. I hope he wins the job.
He dude, last preseason Troy Dye looked pretty good actually. I think he had a pick 6, right? Is that what it was? Yeah, he was looking good last preseason.
I seen him get devastated on like a run play. Like he like literally folded in half. Like, well, I don't know if I saw the same thing.
He's fullback fodder.
I remember him coming up to stuff a hole, and he just got beat.
Yeah.
Pac-12 defense.
Yeah, we'll see on them. Other than that, there's not really a battle, at least not for a starting spot in the linebacker.
Yeah, I think we kind of know what off-ball linebacker is going to be.
So do you think
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to move on to the next thing. So if you're going to stay on the subject,
kind of the next thing. What do you guys think about Chris Reed pushing Ed Ingram at right guard? Do you think there's any shot?
No, I don't.
Tiny bit, because that's who I thought was going to win the guard job last year.
Yeah,
and we were pleasantly surprised that our rookie did. Right, we were happy.
Right.
But my thought is Ed Ingram's going to take a step forward, man. I think he's going to. People were down on him. If it wasn't just for a few splash plays that were, stunts on him and a couple of foot, stepping on Kirk Cousins' foot. Yeah. There were games where, he got a lot of shit, but the rest of the game he played perfect. And I just feel, and when I would play the all 22 tape afterwards, I would look at our offensive line and I was like, those are the only like 2 plays. Only 2 plays.
Half of the season. Well, you see that improvement incrementally.
Yep.
And that's why guards is always a big jump. If they're going to,
I think he's going to be. I think I said this on the 4th that Cleveland is our weakest link, and on the O line. That's my. I think technically I would still put Ingram as our weakest link, but I do think he has a better. Just because if you were to take how he played last season, which Cleveland didn't have play fantastic either. Yeah, but I do think Ingram holy crap, this guy sucks games.
Yeah. And he's playing out of position.
So did Brian O'Neill. He had one really bad game.
He did. Ezra Cleveland's kind of playing out of position. I don't know if I think
that's
Ingram
the point.
Could take
that's
a step
my point.
Past, I think he could take a step past Cleveland this year. Mm-hmm. I would probably say Cleveland. Based off last season, I would say Ingram is probably still considered like the weakest link, but I don't think you let, the fact that he started instead of Chris Reed last season makes it seems even more unlikely that Chris Reed
would really have to do
something this season.
He'd really have to mess
bad.
up.
And you picked this guy in the second round, you trade with we're talking about the Packer thing. He was part of the whole Packers trade too, as well, wasn't he? He was one of our picks. after we traded with the Packers. Yeah. So I mean that's another
we traded
thing too. So
down, right? And then we
the
traded
Packers
up
traded
to get
down,
Booth, and then
we
after
got
Booth, we traded Ingram in the same round. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Ingram in the same round. I don't remember exactly how it rolled out for sure and what pick was from which team, whatever. But anyways, we ended up with him in the second round. And obviously they have high hopes for him, having him start the entire season. My guess is I don't even think it's going to be any sort of battle. I think he'll go into training camp as bona fide starting right guard. And he'd really have to do bad to lose that position, because you want that confidence in him going into the second season. And I agree with Dave. I think we're going to see a jump from him this season. Because he had up and down rookie season, but what's up?
ESPN has Chris Reed as our third string center. Jackie Chen is behind it.
Ooh, JD, you in here? JD,
Jackie
I know
Chen.
he liked that. Jackie Chen's making the team, JD, if you're still in here.
I think he can make the practice squad.
There's still some projection involved with Ed Ingram as well. When you talk about him with Cleveland, I feel like we kind of know what he is as a
NFL we know he's playing out of position, and he'd be a heck of a tackle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's this little girl?
Oh, my daughter, Peyton. Hi, honey. Thank you.
After the Peyton.
Parents. Yeah, Manning.
Let's go. But no, Ed Ingram. I think even Ezra Cleveland, I think we go into the season with the same exact offensive line. In my opinion, I think Ezra Cleveland, they're still holding hope for him. He wasn't.
I haven't watched the video yet,
disaster,
but Purple for the Win had a headline saying that we have a borderline elite offensive line, something to that effect.
We definitely have an elite a couple of tackles there. If Ed Ingram, I think we can go. If Ed Ingram can step up and be a really good right guard, I think that's enough to push our offensive line to being a really good one. Just because our left tackles are just fucking crazy.
Bradbury needs
Bradbury. He just needs to be exactly what he was last year, but other than the Giants game in playoffs, before injury. He just beats the same.
Prior to injury.
Yeah. Be the same. We know exactly who he is. I don't expect him to be any better. Ezra Cleveland, hopefully he can just be a little bit better than last year, and Ed Ingram take a step forward. And then Christian Darrisaw, I mean, obviously we don't really even need to talk about him, but he can still take a huge step forward.
Like Brandle's nipping at his heels. Like Brandle's nipping at his heels.
Yeah. Whatever, dude.
Don't let Darian Lowe catch up to you, dear.
The Darian Lowe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe
the Darian Lowe has an inch bigger hands and inch bigger reach than Darrisaw does.
So, give him the job right now. Give him the job right now. Bradbury's
not as
the
athletic
link.
Though.
Bradbury's the weakest link as far as
it's probably
I think
true.
He's not going any high. He's not getting any better. Like he is what he is, I feel like, which last season was his best season of his career.
Like you could say Bradbury is a top third center. I don't think you can say that about Cleveland right now. I don't know.
For the chance. Do you all think Kareem Hunt would be a good addition along with Madison?
I think
I like the depth.
I think our running back room. I heard that today with Spielman. Apparently, he's got us on like top 3 teams that Hunt could go to. I'm like, our running back room is fine. Don't fucking touch that with a 10-foot pole right now.
I want to see what those guys, what we have back there outside of Madison. So I'd be kind of disappointed to bring in someone else at this point, I think.
Well, we've been a bell cow offense for 14 years.
Yeah.
And now we finally got a good young committee of backs.
And they're gonna go bell cow again.
And you want to
they're gonna do it with Alexander Madison.
Think of. Oh yeah. Well,
2 evil 0.
He might get a lot of touches, but I think you'll mix those guys in a little bit more, certainly more so than say the amount of touches Madison got when Cook was number 1. I think you'll see those splits be a little bit better, but Madison's a guy who can play 3 downs all day.
Yeah, we all run back. My hot take was he was going to have 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns.
I don't even know how hot that is. In games he's started, I'm pretty sure he averages like.
Well, if you listen to the media, we got a shit running back room, and we're going to be crap without Cook.
Well, if you listen,
I think it would be a hot take outside of Vikings fans, but I think especially if we're going to actually run more, like KOC said this season, you should see.
Yogi said that was my least likely to happen.
The Madison thing?
Yeah.
I just feel like, these days, if you get that kind of opportunity as a running back, I feel like it's not that difficult to get 1,000-yard rushing.
In 17 games, yeah.
In 17 games as like a bona fide, as a 3-down back, and you're seeing, 15 carries a game average, we'll say?
I was using 60 yards.
I think getting 1,000 yards isn't insane at that pace.
No.
But
I also think because if we're ever in a lead, which is unheard of, right? If we ever do cross that line where we actually have 2 touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, Madison, I feel better about handing him the ball,
Mateo,
and just running out. What do they call that 4-minute offense? What happened? What did Mateo say?
Is Kareem Hunt going to battle for kicker or punter? We saw that video. Yikes. Damn, Mateo. Shots fired. Shots fired.
In the chat.
Yeah. So actually, before moving on to this question, to Evil. All right. So, because there's some people who maybe outside of Viking fans who aren't convinced that Madison is going to be the starter for the entire season, because you do have the Ty Chandler who looked really good last preseason, and then you do have McBride who obviously had an insane college career. Is there any?
Great.
What's that?
I said the future's looking bright, man.
Yeah. Do you think there's
He's
a
21
chance
years old.
that Madison isn't the bona fide starter throughout the entire season? Or do you think there's there's a running back's the position of probably most, but unless you're a bona fide superstar, like even Delvin Cook last year, Christian McCaffrey, any of those guys, like if you're not an established star, I would say it's a position that if someone's outplaying you in training camp, you can get passed up. And not saying that's going to happen to Madison for sure, but it's not saying that, like, we don't know if Madison for sure is going to come in and be that guy 100%. And
here's the problem.
What's that?
We didn't play our starters in preseason. So if Madison comes in there, plays one series into entire fucking preseason.
Yeah. Well, no,
he's our starter, and they're probably going to try to keep him there. So outside of injury, that's my thought. Now I think it would take an injury for him to lose his job, and it would take a couple of really solid games by Ty Chandler.
It's crazy though. Like it's just from playing so much fantasy football and how often you see like a guy that you drafted that's bona fide starter for their team just for them to get hurt one week and all of a sudden the backup comes in and has 100-yard game the next week.
And Pacheco's you're playing for, winning a Super Bowl.
Pacheco is a good example. Exactly. That's exactly like you see that kind of stuff all the time in the running back rooms, specifically when it's not like a for sure star. And who knows, maybe we do have that in Madison. But I wouldn't say, I don't think it's 100% that we see Madison start the entire season, because we've never even seen him as a full-time starter yet. We've seen him start some games and he's looked really good.
Yeah, he averages 115 yards per start.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
For 100.
Yeah. So,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the conversation. I think my guess is Madison comes in and steps up and be the guys he wants to be. I'm not convinced that. I think McBride still could end up being the best pure runner on this offense, even over Madison. Pure runner. That's what he was in college, and that's what he's probably going to be here.
There's talk about how he's a slow running back. He's not. He's gotten time at a 4.5. He just didn't do it at the combine. He's 4.5. He ran a 4.5. He's plenty fast. He's faster. He's much faster than Madison.
And you watch that,
right?
You just watch him instead of reading numbers,
and he looks quicker.
Balance is unbelievable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like, Barry Sanders-ish, but of course not as good, right? And some and I wanted to say who was with San Diego running back.
LT,
and
it
had some LT about him, and it's like there's
some
just some qualities there,
like old Earl Campbell or like
there you go,
bouncing
Earl
off
Campbell.
people, jerseys ripped, you don't give a shit, you're just dude. I mean, he'll run through 6-7 guys. He just keeps his legs churning and like
Adrian Peterson.
Did you know about that? That was legitimately a offensive strategy. They came out with tearaway jerseys.
Yeah, Mateo.
Did you know about that in the NFL for like a year or two? They had tearaway jerseys, and like Earl Campbell would go through jerseys like 4 a game.
Earl Campbell would stick his whole head straight down into your chest and
go Mateo.
Neck,
yeah, you can't do that now, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited with our whole running back room. It's going to be interesting. That's the thing, is like there's could at least be definitely a chance that Madison ends up not being just a pure 3 down back because there's too much talent on the rest of that depth chart.
I hope
you want a little bit of everything, because the reality is, like, I think Madison's the best option we have as far as runner and catcher overall. But I think Ty Chandler is the best receiver on our team, and I think there's a chance McBride is the best pure runner on their team. So it will be an interesting to.
Ty Chandler's the fastest JD by far, and Ty Chandler's the home run hitter.
Yeah, and he could be.
Ty Chandler was a 4.38, man. That's a home run hitter,
right? And Keeney ran 4.29, something like that. JD, sorry guys, was driving. Jackie Chen is prime Steve Hutchinson, Bryant McKinney put together. Hey, if that happens, we're looking pretty. We're looking pretty.
We're only going to go out there with 4 linemen and just put him on the left side.
He'll just play the whole line.
Move Darius to right tackle.
Yeah.
Jackie Chen can play guard and tackle on the left side.
And there's a chance Keeney doesn't get enough a lot of opportunities as a kick returner this season with all the new rule changes and stuff like that. But that's the thing with Keeney. Like Keeney, I don't think he's still really small. I don't know if he could ever be too impactful, but I mean, if you get him in open space, like he is a player that could break one loose.
Yeah. I'd like Wangwu to win sort of that gadget role.
I think we could use him more like that.
More take over CJ Ham's sprint draw.
CJ,
whatever it's called.
Yeah. CJ Ham. But like instead of the Rager jet motion, instead of as many tunnel screens as we run with JJ, maybe it's a little Kenny Flair screen, maybe it's a little bit of maybe it's a little reverse, maybe you get him late downs, maybe he's your little check down and can make something happen after the catch.
Yeah,
I do hope we can get him involved a little bit, just to use some of that dynamism he brings to special teams.
Roy, about the combination of Lawrence John Randall and Donald Bucket, man, we actually desperately need that. And we're talking about Kinney. Yeah, I agree. I think for the running back position, I think it's really exciting. I'm a running back guy, even though it's fading out of the league, obviously, with Delvin Cooks, Zeke, Hunt. Yeah, I love that. I love running back. I just think they do so much work. I love like Barry Sanders, and Adrian Peterson was like my come up with being a Viking fan. But you're used to having that workhorse, really my whole life we've been so lucky with our running backs. But I am excited to just kind of be able to open it up and not just rely on one player, and kind of see what we can do using all of our players to their best abilities, and kind of using that coach. So we're not like, with Delvin Cook, you have to use him. He's Delvin Cook. You can't put him on the sideline. Here's the issue I feel
with running back. This is my take on the running back position. I don't want 5 running backs or 4 running backs getting the ball, because the offensive line is timing, and they're used to one guy, and then they throw a different guy in there. I wouldn't mind this to happen. Ty Chandler and Madison being our 2 backs, and and then the other 2 guys are backups, but they just gotta wait their turn, because Alexander Madison can be gone after 1 year. So
well, and Dave, that's interesting you bring that up because I mean, when our last conversation with Darrell Madison, he spoke to that where that was some of Madison's issues.
Cleveland,
right, coming off the bench for the relief drive where he's getting the touches. Not necessarily when he's starting, when you're planning for him to be the back all week, but when he comes in to give Cook a breather, that timing's a little off. When they're doing their zone runs or when Madison's hitting the hole, the timing's a little off because it is so locked in. You run it so many times in practice. The offensive line unit is so cohesive, and that back. They'll give the lineman a touch on the back, say, hey, I'm cutting off your right shoulder, and kind of feel that out. That's different from each running back. So that's a really good point. You might not want to just get everybody involved. I think you get a Ty Chandler or a Kenny involved is probably on late downs. Dwayne McBride is probably more so if we get a Madison injury.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like he's in there if Madison gets hurt, or he's waiting his turn for next year.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna have we're gonna have 3, but you can easily tag him, but we could have him for good 3-4 years after this. So that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I could definitely that does make a lot of sense that you can't just put it in there. I just have this hunch
I spin gold, Jamie. I spin gold. That's
it. You do. I know it. I already know that.
Sewing that shit up.
That's one thing. I just have a feeling we're gonna fucking love what we see in McBride, and it might be like a wait your turn thing, but I feel like we're gonna be like, we think McBride's gonna be that guy. I have a feeling it's gonna be hard to
for like a Chester Taylor year where he's like, oh, you're still good, man, but this guy is fucking sick,
dude. I don't know.
And we go 8-8 because we're not starting Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. What up, Zoe? What up, dude?
Yo.
So
hey, Zone, who you trading today, man?
Yeah, who we trading, Zoe? Who we trading?
Who you trading today? I always gave rap crap about he was bored, so he thought he'd trade somebody to spice it up. And here we got Zone trading Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson.
Did you guys
my guy
where they thought we traded TJ Hawkinson? It was a part of this article about the Vikings. And they were like, the offense is going to take a hit after they traded away TJ Hawkinson.
Like someone believed that?
It was a PFF article, and you're just like, what are you guys talking about? They just had the Hawkinson move backwards. They thought we traded him to the Lions.
To the Lions?
It was
wild. Just found out?
Yeah, it was one of those
that's so funny.
Where it's like, touches briefly on all 32 teams, and it was just wild. Just another one of those things.
Whatever you do, don't make a mistake about the college logo, because you get in trouble for shit like that.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well,
putting the wrong
East Coast
logo on the thumbnail.
He's erased his tweets. He's deleted his tweets.
So a couple more things I want to say. Well, first off, I'm sorry, so I have to hit on this real quick. So no JJS. I can't disagree more than wanting to trade TJ Hawkinson after one season with him when it looked obvious that he should be a big part of our offense. In my opinion, I couldn't go with trading Hawkinson. And even with all the talent we might have at wide receiver, I don't think we have any guy who can bring that kind of receptions in and big body type of player on this offense if we lost Hawkinson. Maybe Oliver steps up in that position. But I think TJ's about to be. I think
TJ go. Oliver steps up, letting TJ go at the end of the year or whatever.
We got Zach Muse sitting there gathering dust.
Yeah, Muse is just.
Muse is just.
You gotta dust him off.
Yeah, I mean, but if it came down to beer drinking, I mean, then Oliver wouldn't make the cut, because I don't know if you guys seen when all three of them were at the hockey game. I was disappointed that Oliver, he only could drink like half his beer, and then Muse and Hawkinson they took it down no problem. I think one of them might have been drinking 2 at once.
Those guys are so frat.
Yeah, I know, that was awesome. It was awesome seeing him at the Wild game. It's cool with it's so sweet with Hawkinson because he's obviously Iowa kid. I don't know if he grew up as a Viking fan.
Dad
I know a
did.
lot of his family is and stuff, but it's
He
really
talked
cool
about like
to
a bedroom being purple, I think, at one time. So it might have been
yeah.
his.
Yeah. So I like it's cool when you get a player like that, especially of his caliber, where they can just dive into the culture of Minnesota and the sport teams and stuff. And we've had that happen, like Jared Allen. I mean, what he probably still has a house here in Minnesota somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
There's those some people come up to Minnesota and they don't wanna leave. And it's really nice when you see that because you just
what's
know the loyalties there.
Yogi's brother?
Mm-hmm.
He stayed.
I think I heard something about, I don't know anything about Yogi's brother other than I slightly heard that his brother played for the Vikings at one point.
Yeah, I got drafted in 2001. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's what's up.
He got injured on a chop block by a Packer.
Of course.
And he's now the head coach, or he's the principal, I think, and head coach for a high school in Minnesota. I forget which one though.
Okay.
I asked Yogi at the beginning of the show, like what was his fondest memory? What made him a Viking fan? He says, well, the 2001 draft when they drafted my brother. And I go, well, what was your biggest memory? He says, well, watching a game sitting next to Bud Grant. Because ex-players get tickets and sit in this box. And since his brother's an ex-player, he brought him to a game and he got to sit by Bud Grant while watching the game.
Dang,
and I'm like, you know what? I think. And then I said, what's his worst moment? Well, the day his brother got hurt. And that's when I stuck my foot in my mouth. But yeah, those are experiences we can't even imagine happening. Right.
Yeah. So. Right. That's so cool. That's so cool. I don't know, Zoe. I would just say I even with Addison and Oliver, I think TJ Hawkinson brings something that none of those guys do, which is a big body reception type of player. I don't see his, even with Oliver and Addison, I don't see his targets going down too much. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I think Kirk is going. I mean, they created a pretty strong rapport just from last season. I can only imagine it's going to get even stronger going into the second season together. And he was feeding Hawkinson. And I think you'll see more of that coming away from Jordan Addison's potential receptions than you'd see J.A. taking it from Hawkinson. So back to the positional battles thing, since that's what we're here for. I would say, so quick ones that I was also thinking, I know we'll bring up, let's see, I have to go up a little bit. We'll come back to this. We're about to be a combination Warren Sapp, John Randall, and Donald Bucket. So I do think there's definitely some question marks on the defensive line right now. I know we have Tonga there. Roy's getting first team reps. We obviously have Harrison there as well. Do we have another guy that we're projecting? We have Bullard still, correct, to be kind of the third guy on the defensive line in that rotation. Because
did you say Tonga?
Yep, I said Tonga.
I still like.
Yeah, I think we need to do a wellness check on Mateo because I think he may be overdosing.
I'm jumping it. I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for it. Let's go.
I still like Asazia Tomowo.
Oh yeah, I always forget about him too, and he has tons of potential.
He's got an
too.
Opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one's talking about him. That's what we got to make a video on him real quick because no one's
longest arms in the 2022 draft class.
Okay.
Freaking Golden Gopher.
Johnny likes his hugs.
Oh yeah, yep.
Johnny likes big hugs.
What?
Yep. And he looked.
I like that's a good trait to have.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, dude, a big hug, wrap all the way around.
Yeah.
So cuddly.
Really, there were a couple plays that really jumped out at me of his last year. There was one where he tracked a screenplay laterally all the way to the sideline, made the tackle. He has that length, really helps him kind of keep on that day.
So he's not giving it up.
The culture of Minnesota, drinking beer, eating. Hey, we got lakes, bro. Don't forget the lakes.
Yeah, dude. Don't forget the lakes. Don't forget.
We're gonna have 25 million tied up in the tight end. I guess it would be. Well, no, we got 16 million right now. So hey, correction. Right now it's 16 million.
Trade Hunter for 2 first-round picks to the Cardinals. I like that. Assuming we're talking about the potential first and second overall pick if that's what they end up with.
Hunter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No. What up, Justin? All right. So I think I don't really honestly know what's going to happen with the defensive line. I don't know if there's going to be just a lot of rotation. I don't know. But let's just do these two players. It's a battle between Tonga and Roy.
So hey, here's what ESPN says. Dean Lowry, left defensive end.
Yeah, Tonga, I forgot about him.
Tonga at nose tackle and Harrison Phillips at right defensive end.
Yeah.
So Roy would be the nose would he fit into the nose tackle spot?
Roy? I got him as D end.
Yeah, Roy. They have him as D end?
I think he played as far inside as
3-4
as one technique, and at LSU, like a lot of times it's a shade nose. So I think he'd be fine. And then you've got Dean Lowry's probably 5 tech, just because he's got like pretty serious pass rush chops.
Man, they got Roy 4th on the depth chart on nose tackle. TJ Smith, Sheldon Day.
Oh,
Jaquelin Roy.
So he'll be 2nd. Those cats aren't making the roster.
Then it's Russ. Then there's Russ. I am terrible at football. Blacklock. Jonathan Bullard.
Hey, who's a former
they got him. They got him
down
way back.
Yep.
And then James Lynch and Atamoyo.
I do like James Lynch still, but I don't know. I was hoping
he's definitely a backup.
I was hoping he would be better than he was.
He's so good. I even liked Blake Lynch. He was kind of good at Sam.
Oh, linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He could set the edge a little bit. He was kind of feisty. I didn't mind.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I liked him.
Sleeves, the long sleeve.
Yeah. Well, freaking. What's his name? What's the other Lynch's name that we just said? James Lynch. Well, he had like 15 sacks his last season coming out of college or something crazy, like 12 sacks, something like that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so I was like super pumped up about him, which he still has been a really solid player, but he never really reached that kind of sack potential that I was hoping for.
Yeah, I'm pissed.
I was hoping that was going to be steal.
I could see this happening though. Lowry, Tonga, and Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget about Lowry, honestly.
Our goal is like Roy wins the job, right? You know, like we.
Yeah. Lowry had like a 9.6% pressure rate last year, which is pretty good for an interior guy. 10.1% the year before, I think. A little injured last year. Like, I don't know. I still worry about stopping the run. Like, I think a lot of the guys we have here, I feel better about generating some interior pressure. Even with the loss of Dalvin, I like Dean Lowry. Some of those other guys taking a next step, maybe a little Jaquelin Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Still terrified of those 13, 14 play drives, 10-minute drives.
Oh, man, don't even talk about it.
That's
what you get. We blank you
out.
That's
what you get for just bringing it up. God, that's just like everything.
Well, we talked about the defense.
That's what I'm afraid of.
So basically, outside linebacker right now, Davenport, Danielle Hunter, but that might change. But
yeah. So I mean, we don't know about Danielle Hunter, but we're assuming Danielle Hunter, Davenport. We'll just say Danielle Hunter is going to be here. Is there any chance you see a Patrick Jones or
DJ
Wanham
beating Davenport out for the other outside linebacker spot?
No, but I think we see those guys. I think we see 3 or more of those guys on the same field
at the one time.
A lot more often than you think.
Well, for me, if Danielle Hunter stays on the team, I have him playing defensive end, right? That's the way I would put him anywhere on the line, anywhere.
And I'm that's a weird thing is you can put, I don't know. I think when Flores' defense, it's going to be very hybrid type of.
Yeah, I think he's going to have his hand. He's not going to be
following regular schemes.
Like you'll probably
or greater percent of the time.
See some even fronts where you got 4 down, and
I think it's going to be. I bet you we see a lot of four fronts.
That's why keeping Danielle would be huge.
Oh, it's massive
this
for
year,
defense.
Right?
It'd be. It's if we lose him, I honestly, I don't feel strongly about a potential pass rush other than having Flores and being able to use what you have to make your pass rush there. But man, they'd be looking a lot nicer with Danielle Hunter. But who knows what's happening with that now?
The rebuild becomes much less competitive if you move off of Hunter for draft picks.
Yes. You are leaning towards rebuild than competitive.
Yeah,
for sure. If that happens, which I mean, could
so
make
outside
sense
of
right
fullback as you know, I think the second biggest is QB. Like, who's going to win the QB job this year?
The boy.
Let's go
Hall.
with second string. Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall. I assume it's Nick Mullins.
Yeah. But just because you're gonna have to do that, you could if there's one, obviously we know this, but one position in the NFL with quarterbacks, you shouldn't rush a rookie into the court, even if you think he's better.
And you
still might put him as the third quarterback.
The new roster stipulation too, where you can keep a third quarterback without him counting against the 53.
Yeah, with that. I like that rule.
That can be Jaron Hall.
I think that's what you would do.
Nick Mullins is sick with the clipboard. I want him on the sideline.
And we have Andre Carter.
Yeah, he cheers on the team too. He's a rah guy.
Mullins but we want Hall just to save money. I would love Hall to be that guy.
He went to the same college as Brett Favre too. So
I would probably prefer Gardner Minshew over
the
Mullins.
2-year extension for Mullins, though, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see Mullins back there, which I like. I still like him as having a second quarterback. That's the thing with that position. You kind of do. You want the guy who do you want holding the clipboard at that position? Probably not some rookie coming in right away, even if he's more talented right off the bat, because he's not going to be starting. So what does that really matter?
Yeah.
So I'd say that, but then there's one more positional battle, and that is wide receiver 2. So obviously we didn't get to see a ton of Jordan Addison yet. Obviously it's just mini camp anyways. What is your guys' thoughts on who wins wide receiver 2? Or do you think it's like Addison's job to lose, or do you think it's just going to be an absolute open battle between him and KJ Osborne, and maybe you get to see Naylor kind of inching his way towards opportunity there as well? See, Mateo gets it. CJ Ham, quarterback 1.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, 3 years ago today, there were articles out that Olabisi Johnson was above Jefferson on the off-season depth chart.
Yep.
Getting the first team reps or whatever it was until well into camp, until
week 2,
third game of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, third game to get the official start.
Right.
Third game of the season. Yeah.
So I mean, like, it might be the same kind of thing we said about about Cam Bynum or Caleb Evans, where it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe KJ's that guy to start the year, but a guy as talented as Jordan Addison, you've got to think if he's on the field consistently as number as a number 2 guy, like, you don't feel good about that.
Stop,
maybe
evil.
I think that's Greg. I think that's too big of a compliment for regular.
Right. Maybe
he sucks donkey balls.
Maybe taking a huge step forward, and Addison's just got to wait his turn. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But if we're getting,
I had a hot take. that Jalen Naylor had more yards than Jordan Addison.
Sure.
Ooh, that's
I think he's behind right now.
I think
Addison's behind. He
to the Metrodome.
He got his little injury, and they got to see what Naylor looked like because
what up, Trump Grimes?
Justin Jefferson was out.
I've been kind of riding with Jordan Addison since we drafted him, even before we drafted him.
Well, it's easy take to say Jordan Addison's gonna be because he was like he got drafted and the coach on live said
but
he's a day 1 starter.
Yeah, though I mean you need more
put
than
it
that.
out there.
Yeah, you need more than that though. That's not enough. That's not enough.
We fucking nailed this draft. Let's go. Day 1 starter. Dapping each other.
But if Jordan Addison comes in and sucks,
I'm sitting there, KJ Osborne. I'm like, you just drafted this guy as a day 1 starter? What?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. That's what I'm hoping. Like, it'd be sweet to see KJ Osborne take the next step obviously, I mean, he still has a lot of speed, big body wide receiver. Though at this point, you're kind of, I'd rather see Naylor be the guy than KJ at this point,
I think they've seen KJ. I think they've seen Naylor and probably like him and think he's got more potential than
Treadwell.
KJ Osborne is ceiling. He hit his ceiling. I don't think you can get better than that. But I think Osborne has a lot more potential than KJ Osborne has.
Or Naylor.
No, I don't think.
What did I say? You said Osborne has more.
I meant Naylor has more potential than KJ Osborne.
Yeah, at this point, because we kind of know what KJ is, but
he's hit the ceiling.
Even though, at least it feels that way. It feels that way. I hope Jalen Reagor. What up, Yoshi? I hope Jalen Reagor has a breakout year. Raiders fan. Man, it's gonna be a little late for a breakout season, but that's what Jalen Reagor. I mean, that's one thing with Addison is we picked him last out of all the big wide receivers run in the end of the first round there with Flowers, JSN, Quentin Johnson, and JA. He was the last one out of them. So it's at least it's not for sure not going to be a Jalen Reagor situation where you end up picking someone like him in front of a Justin Jefferson.
And we picked Laquan, the last receiver out of the big group.
Remember? Yeah. So at least we didn't pick him instead of someone else, but he just still sucked. Who else was in that? Doxson was in that draft. He's Josh Doxson.
It was a very bad receiver draft.
Yeah. And it had a bunch of hype, I think.
Really good. It'd be so sick to look back at the Randy Moss pick 21, Jefferson pick 22, Addison pick 23.
Yeah. Something like that. It's
just the sweet spot for
I know
wide receivers.
20,
really,
it's gonna happen. Jordan Addison is so talented. I will be honest, his size does kind of scare me a little bit, but
terrifying. I shat my pants on draft night. I was pissed
when you got Jordan Addison.
Oh, I'm livid, dude. I was a couple whiskeys in, and I was pissed. I wanted Brian Branch or Deontay Banks.
Banks. I'm gonna miss him.
And
I wanted Addison.
So if I had to talk myself into it, I had to have a lot of internal dialogue.
I wanted to trade down and get Mozzie Smith, and then because I like Naylor, man. I just thought we got our guy. I felt like we got our guy.
I like
but
Naylor,
I'm not disappointed we got Addison right now.
Jordan Addison was he was definitely my number one wide receiver going in. And I thought he should be a top 15 pick at least, but his combine, he would have been. If he didn't show up to the combine, I would not be surprised if he was a top 15 pick. I think he only fell because of his combine day. Otherwise, he was kind of considered as like the bona fide one at one point, I felt like. But no, I like Addison a lot. He has, that guy is insanely skilled. It's his size that is kind of scary, but I think he's slippery. And I've said this before, he has insane balance where I don't think he's that easy to get down, even with his size. Like he stays on his feet. He has that like ability to stay on his feet when he's falling down, pushing himself back up before falling. I don't know.
I think if you have Justin Jefferson, Naylor, and Addison on the field, you have three outstanding route runners.
And Naylor brings you cool. that deep threat.
And all three are fast.
So Jordan Addison.
Not super fast, but all three are fast.
I wanted one of those bigger body guys to just complement JJ a little bit, but
I like Addison a lot. I think we're gonna see something good in him. If we don't, it'll be disappointing because I think the other option that could have been possible for us was to pick Joey Porter and then go grab Jalen Hyatt. Trade up for Jalen Hyatt. I think he went.
I'm impressed
third.
with what the Giants did. They got Hyatt. I really like that draft for them.
I think he's gonna still be a steal. So that was like if we would have ended up with Hyatt and Joey Porter, that would have that could have been really big for us. But I do think Jordan Addison's better than Hyatt from a skill standpoint for sure.
Yeah.
Hyatt, oh yeah, he clears. It was more the position for me. And if we were gonna go receiver, again, I kind of wanted one of those bigger body guys. I thought Quentin Johnson was a little bit, more dynamic after the catch. Of course, Zay Flowers is that way.
What's that?
But yeah, I mean,
Wants to be a moderator.
I've come back around.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how to do that.
He'll kick out any Cousins fans in the chat.
Oh, you're too evil. You can't kick anyone out. I don't even know how to do that.
Free speech. Free speech to You'll Hope.
Hey, we even let Packer fans in here, but I just know that our chat's gonna destroy them, so it doesn't really bother me. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sticking strong with the Jordan Addison. I'm sticking strong. I think he's more skilled. He's more polished type of wide receiver. We'll see. Though I am scared of the size.
The size is scary. And, out of the slot, you can probably dial up some free releases for him.
Let's go, JD.
And it might be a really natural. Maybe Addison goes right into the Thielen role, and KJ just kind of does the same shit as last year.
He was already doing.
Third guy.
Gopher fans braved snowstorm a few years ago. The Vikings fans open up under the dome. Done. Trump, come on! You have to hop back on board. Trump crimes. It's time. High can catch a cold, let alone a ball. No thanks. Dude was basically like the guy who was on the Texans who could only run 9 routes. What's his name? You're talking Fuller. You're probably talking about Fuller. Yeah, that's fair. That's what we needed was a deep threat. That's what would complement JJ. I think the best is a bona fide, like a good deep threat type of wide receiver.
Yeah, he'd run like 29. Not yet. Body would just give out for 3 weeks.
Yep.
And then the third biggest outside of fullback and quarterback is place kicker. Greg Joseph and Jack Podlesny.
Yeah, that's a kicker name.
Yeah.
Podlesny.
Yeah, man.
Who do you got, Jamie?
I'm going to have to go with place. I'm going to go. I don't know. I'm going to have to go. I do think, or we go get Kareem Hunt, like Mateo says. I don't know. It's going to be Greg Joseph, obviously. But I'm not like big on Greg Joseph like Casey is for whatever reason.
Well, he kicked the long ones. He
did make those.
He set the Vikings record and won the game with it. He's won some He won some games,
Yeah.
He had some clutch kicks, but he missed how many 50 what is it? He made the 60 something yarder, but he missed like a bunch of his 50s or whatever, and then obviously it's just the extra points things. Like
there was a stretch where he was like 2 for 6, right? 2 out of 6.
I like Greg Joseph, but man, don't you just I want everything, but I want a Justin Tucker, I want a Patrick Mahomes, I want the best we can get at every position.
It's gonna be 2 years in a row with the same holder.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah, we'll take it. Whatever. We'll take it. But Jordan Addison's going to be that guy. He better be.
Book.
Oh, I forgot about Josh Sokol.
Book it. Josh Sokol.
290. Let's put him on the line. That's what we need. I don't see it. I don't see any crazy things happening this year.
For as far as like what our positions end up as,
like Abraham Bow plan makes the team. I don't see crazy shit like that happening.
Yeah,
or
the only one I would say was
Williams.
The only ones I would say could be crazy outside of people who pay enough attention would be the Ivan Paces and the Andre Carter potential. Like, what are their like anybody who doesn't pay as much attention as us and our chat? They probably don't really, they just probably look at those guys as like undrafted free agents that don't really have as much potential as they do. So I could see that those two could come in and kind of be a surprise At this point, I would say I like Ivan Pace a lot, but Andre Carter just has all the tools. Bo Nix equals Baker Mayfield. No thanks. We're thinking quarterbacks next year. I saw that Purple FTW said we need to draft Bo Nix next year. Oh, I see what you're saying. I have not looked enough into these quarterbacks coming into next year's draft. Not deep enough. I have to see how they're playing this season. Other than obviously Caleb Williams. Everybody knows about Caleb Williams. Hey, what's going on, Sarah?
ESPN doesn't have Carter on the depth chart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think unless you're a Viking fan and you're paying attention, you're just looking at those names as undrafted free agents, unless you're listening to, people talking about them or like our chat. Like, I think those guys could be, what did you say, sir? Oh, he's not cute. Pass. Sarah wants Baker. Andre Carter is going to take 3 years to be NFL ready. He's military shape, not NFL shape. Dude has to bulk. He does have a lot of bulk to do. You're not lying. He does. But
yeah, they don't even have him on the depth chart.
I think he's going to make the team, and I think you're going to see his potential that he has. The potato, it doesn't take 3 years to get in football shape. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, military shape is a good start. And he still played football. So he was doing, there's no question he needs some bulk. If you mean by that, like he's just, scrawny from all the runs he had to do probably. But I think in a year, you could put some meat on those bones for sure.
I think he could slip through as a practice squad player all year because of that. Like if he doesn't show anything in preseason, then he could just be put on a practice squad.
I do think so.
I don't think a team's going to pick him up and put him as a start, put him on the active roster.
Oh, yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I guess that is true.
Because, he would have his choice, right? You'd have to go on the active roster. You can't just pick up a guy to put on your practice squad.
Nope, you can't. You can't. So that's a good point. But I think you're taking a gamble with someone like you could be. I don't know. We'd have to see what we see in him because if obviously he was undrafted for a reason. If he's anything like some people thought he would, aka a guy who dropped significantly, that's a guy that you don't want to put on your practice squad because he has so much potential. And he does have, led college football or second in college football in sacks 2 years ago. Was projected to be like a top 20 pick at one point, which is insane to go that from to undrafted. With Sarah in here, I guess we'll say this again. We'll probably give this away too. I don't know where John went. Phone died or something probably, but giving away another Justin Jefferson rookie card, just like we do on every show. You have to put hashtag Skol in the comments. I'll do it just so you can make sure. I know there's a couple of people I haven't seen in here before. So hashtag Skol in the comments. Oop, I did it twice. If we win, no one gets it. That's just how it's going to be. Hashtag Skol in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe to our channels, GG Sports Podcast and Minnesota Sports Talk. Everything is in the description below. There we go. Coming in here. Sarah is in here, though. She is due. I know she is due, but we'll see. Remember when they started chipping him? He couldn't handle it. That's a running back chipping, not another O-line. Andre Carter is a major project. You could be right, Mateo. He was undrafted for a reason. Though, he still had 15 sacks and was double teamed a lot last season.
Yeah, I think that was the only guy on the team they had to really game plan around.
Yeah. So that's another thing. It's like, yeah, you might get chip blocked by a running back, but you don't just teach how to get 15 sacks. Like sometimes that's just something that you have. Look, like even Danielle Hunter. Look how raw Danielle Hunter was when he came into the NFL. Obviously, he's fucking built like a shit brick house, but so he probably wasn't getting blocked by little guys, but he just has all the tools to be good, and we figured it out. I was listening to a podcast earlier. Lions, Bears, whack packs. All things were going 0-6 in division. Think we're going 0-6 in division. Yeah, that's fucking trash by them. Implodes that sissy dome already. Go back outdoors and play on a real grass. Trump crimes, man. You were really mad about about our stadium situation. I didn't know that you were such a a football field type of guy. They all drinking the same spike drinks there. Yeah, they'll be disappointed. They say that every year. Couple hashtag goals. No, the 15 sacks was the year before last when he got the chipping. Yeah, it was the year before last when he got the chipping. Like that's when he was getting chipped, or was it last year when he was getting chipped? And what the fuck is with the pack saying they're saying Watson equals Moss? Nah. Just nah. First off, Moss has some of the best hands ever, probably. So that takes it out right away.
Late hands too.
How do the Packers improve? They lost Aaron Rodgers, half their wide receivers, and got like one free agent. And I mean, I think their draft was just all right. They got a little bit better. Their defense with Van Noy, or was it Van Ness or Van Noy? I forgot his name. Van Ness. Whatever. First round pick. They're trash.
Andre Carter had 11 reps on the bench.
Hey, that's a good start.
That's not good.
That's 10 more than me.
Well, it's not good for the NFL. You're 6'5".
Good for a Vikings podcast, though. Yeah, he has some building to do for sure. I think Mateo does make a really good point that he is more military type conditioning, which is just so much running that you're not really running, push-ups, pull-ups. You're not focused on getting.
What's the thing? He wasn't probably doing a whole lot of weight training, but
yeah.
I mean, when I was in college, 175 pounds and 6 foot, I did 2 reps of 225. Like that was my max. He is 11. It's like 9. Yeah, I'm thinking, maybe 18.
Yeah,
11. That's
11.
There's receivers
that get more.
Running backs on our team that did better than this.
How much? Let's see. I've seen worse. That's another thing to imagine when he does get bigger and stronger. But like Mateo said,
you had to know if you're going to go to the combine that you're only going to do 11 fucking reps on the bench and what that would do to your draft.
What's the I'm trying to think. Who's an example of another defensive end that kind of came in kind of lengthy and skinny. One kind of thing. I think it was this dude. Yeah, maybe he should have just skipped the bench. Probably would have went drafted. I'm 6 foot, 200 plus, and my ass bench that 20 times, 11 times. That's weak. Remember, McKinnon had. I guess you know a lot more about that than me. McKinnon had like 34 reps. McKinnon was a freaking. He's gym rat. That's insane. 34 reps. 20 reps is so crazy. I've never sniffed that. The most I've done of 225 was also.
I mean, it's hard to do if you got long arms, but he doesn't have that crazy long arms. 33 and a 3/8. That's not crazy long.
I feel sorry for you guys who didn't get a chance to watch NFL 1960s and 70s. I didn't. I missed all that. The guy who missed part of his hand. Jason Pierre-Paul. Jason Taylor from the Dolphins.
Trump crimes. I was playing football the year they switched blocking from this to being able to use your hands. So
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, did you ever see the old electric football games? The old electric football games, all the offensive linemen,
like the retro bowl and stuff.
Yeah, like the old the original ones.
Yeah. No, I've seen those.
The old football pictures, the old football cards of linemen. They would pose like this.
Dude, I just
their arms like this.
I didn't even know. Like, I didn't really take that in. So, like, maybe they're flexing or something. I don't know.
No, man, that's how you blocked.
Dang, that's crazy. I did not know that you couldn't.
That's why, like, you see guy running backs with 3.5 yards per carry and shit.
Yeah,
like
back then. Yeah. Bro. So, I mean, we bring that back up. I think we should give Adrian Peterson the record over Eric Dickerson then. The single season record.
Yeah, could be.
Dude, you can't have sniffed all of the bus seats already. You got to get back to that.
Oh, that's actually what makes Eric Dickerson even more impressive. Those people were blocking like that for him.
Damn it, that's true too. Though for Adrian Peterson, he was in a time where it was becoming more of a pass first offense around the league.
But then
he's like the
who was his quarterback,
Yeah, that's true too. Adrian Peterson's better. Twins win 5-0. Hey, let's go. What is that now? Is that 4 in a row by them? Or is that 3 in a row? I know, but that puts us one game over 500, I think. Zimmer is the devil. They have sucked since Everson left. We did we just need that energy. That's what we need from Everson. I think we're going to see a different type of it, but I think we're going to see more of that from Brian Asamoah as he becomes a more confident leader with our team. Just because he kind of has, it's going to be different than Everson, but I do think he can bring that energy to our defense.
I think that's 3 in a row, and that puts us 2 games above 500. So we swept KC.
Nice. I mean, we shouldn't be, we should. I just saw that we own like most of the starting pitching. Like we're first in a lot of the categories for starting pitching. So our offense is really just doing that bad this year. Yeah, the Royals are terrible. I know they make us look like a playoff contender. Dude, we just need our freaking offense to play the way they're supposed to be. Our batters. Wackapack said Randy Moss ain't great because he has got no ring. I say, well, Adams got no ring either, so he ain't great either. Yeah, Devonta Adams don't. Randy Moss was so close too. I mean, Randy Moss has a season where they went undefeated. That's so crazy. Undefeated and then lose to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Set the NFL record for touchdowns.
Set the NFL record for touchdowns. Randy Moss, that guy. Brian Asamoah will be Luke Lurch, left tackle, and Patrick Willis put together. Let's go. That's what we need. Patrick Willis. Let's go. I was happy the Twins came back outdoors. Now the Vikes have to follow. You want them to? They have one of the most expensive stadiums in all of sports. I don't think they're going outdoors. But hey, what they can retract their ceiling a little bit or whatever, can't they? I believe so. So they're partially outdoors. Yeah, US Bank.
No, just the doors. Just the doors.
That was just the doors.
And that's why we missed like the first 2 field goals of the year.
Yeah, because the freaking wind coming in. So now the doors are just always shut.
He probably shuts the doors every game now.
You do know you're not supposed to drink from the urinals, right? I love that Trump Grimes he's just pissed about us playing indoors. You can tell. So you're a big Bud Grant guy. There's no question about that. Luke Kuechly. Yeah. I know what you were saying. Luke Kuechly and Patrick Willis. Let's have it happen. I think if JD and Mateo can predict the future, I mean, we're looking pretty damn good. All right, guys. All right, we're going on 2 hours here. This actually went by pretty dang quick. I wasn't even paying attention how long.
We spent an hour on cornerbacks alone.
Yeah, we did. Hey, that's the biggest question mark. Going into this training camp, I'm going to be eyeing that a lot. I'm going to be watching the wide receiver too a lot too. It's an exciting position to pay attention to. Again, everybody in here, we're about to run this card. Justin Jefferson rookie card. Hashtag Skol in the comments for your chance to win. Have to be here. We're doing that now. You have to be here to win. So we'll give you a minute if you win and you're not here, whatever. But you have to be in here to win. Just because it's not fair for the people who do stay until the end. Watson is better because he got more touchdowns than JJ. What's the point of having receptions and yards? Sarah, I don't know if that's good for your mental health going up in these other chats with these other teams. That's like just a way to get fucking pissed. Trump Crimes coming in here and must have found the leftover cocaine from Trump Jr. that was left in the White House with the wild comments. That's funny. Or what the Hunter Biden too? God, whack packs are ducking dumb. I agree, Sarah. I agree. You missed. We had the couple Angler and the other Packer fans in here earlier.
Mateo, that was a real stretch. One president's got a crack fiend for his son. It's not Trump.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Politics are crazy, you know? They're just crazy. All right, let me get this up. Biden grandfather leaves drugs around the White House. They all do. I don't know. Obviously, there's something crazy that goes up on in the White House. Either way, something's going on there. All right, we got 14 entries. I'm going to run this in like a minute here. Hashtags go in the comments if you haven't already. So overall, though, real quick, so we talked about the position battles. We said corner. We all picked each a different person for cornerback, right? Was that the one you said? Evans. I said Booth Jr. No, you said Blackman. I said Booth Jr. And all right, let's see what's it. Now Hunter just loves porn. While Trump Jr. literally has been busted for crime. Oh no, Hunter Biden. He has like what 4 pictures with a crack pipe in his mouth.
It's more than 4
or more than 4. Hunter definitely likes
a whole hard drive full of.
He definitely likes
stuff.
himself some crack. That's for sure.
I saw this stuff on the internet 2 years ago.
Things Joe sniffs is a little. All right, YouTube isn't gonna like us, you know, talking about the.
We just been flagged by the DNC.
We've been flagged immediately.
Flagged by the DNC. We can't talk anymore.
Yep. No, I told them don't ever put Watson in the same sentence as Moss and JJ. JJ's 10,000 times better than Watson, and we don't even make the comparison to Moss. Yeah, 100%, Sarah.
Hey,
so,
news regardless of politics, that's some breaking news. Here's some breaking news. Justin Jefferson was ranked 99 on Madden, the #1 receiver.
Hey, let's go, Justin Jefferson, 99 overall on Madden. Just when Sarah's talking about it. Regardless of politics in the country, I'm not a politics guy at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. Saying Jay Ward. So you're going Jay Ward for starting cornerback. Is that what you're saying? That's a hot take. That's a hot take. I like it.
Well, he said nickel, I think, earlier. I think he made
you're
that point.
Delusional if you don't know about Hunter's crack pictures. Nice rating for JJ. That's why I made the short, but they also put CBS put JJ #1 player under the age of 25, and CBS also has Justin Jefferson #7 player in the NFL overall. Yeah, agreed. All right, I'm gonna run this. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Who do we got today? Let's see. It's going to be one of us. Justin. Justin in here? Justin, are you in here?
He is.
Justin's been on a streak now. This is his 3rd time winning in like a month. But he has to be in here. I don't know if he's still in here. Yep, Skol for life. CBS, the only one not smoking crack. Like the only ones in the world not smoking crack. I know right after the Keyshawn stuff, Keyshawn comes out with his top 5, ridiculously doesn't put Justin Jefferson on and gets fired the next day. We have nothing from Justin incoming yet, I don't believe.
Yeah, they fired what's his name too, right?
Kellerman?
Yeah.
Kellerman? Yeah. And now
white guy.
Stephen A is now he's like, I could be let go too, but it'd be crazy to see him go.
It's weird what they see in people. It's weird what
I have a feeling Justin's not in here. So I am going to run this again.
Sorry, Justin.
He'll forgive me. Who we got? Second chances. And we got Bob Swede. Bob, are you in here? Man, you're always in here.
He was in here.
All right, Bob, I'll give you a chance here. I'll give Bob a little bit more time than Justin. Malika Andrews. Let's go, Justin.
They should have fired Malika
Oh, Bob is here. Bob, have you won a card before? I think didn't you just do it recently? See, that's why crack is whack. Let's go, Bob. Let's go.
Yeah, Malika is the reason why Rachel Nichols, right? That was the Rachel Nichols, Malika Andrews thing about the NBA Finals. I remember that. Or no?
Hey, do you follow us on any of our socials? Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All of it's in our description.
Grindr,
yeah. Especially hit us up on Grindr. But no, hit us up on one of those social medias and DM us so I can get your mailing address.
Sorry, Justin. It was all Jay. I told him to wait.
I think Justin will forgive me. I think you'll forgive me. I told him to wait. One.
No, I didn't.
I got you next time, Justin.
It's his card. He does what he wants with it. I can't tell him nothing.
Sarah, too late. Sarah's just getting pissed. She's won like all my good cards, which I'm glad you did. But Bob, let me know if you let me know if you find us on. We've had a couple people who weren't able to find us, which always kind of sucks. So I want to make sure that you get it. What's your email? Here, I'll put my email in here. I don't go on it yet, but yeah, you can email us. I'm going to set up a different email. I mean, no matter what, I know we'll see you again for sure. So, I mean, worst case scenario. Sarah hating on me, swipe right. Sarah No, that was a different girl, Dave. The reason Rachel got fired, she got busted being the one who was sleeping with Jimmy Butler during the bubble. Oh shit. Jimmy Butler. Can't believe the Wolves got nothing for trading him pretty much.
The reason Rachel got fired is he got sleeping with Jimmy Butler in the bubble.
Good night, fellas. Justin, you still owe me that.
So they just released that video of her cracking on her replacement. Was just to justify it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, guess so. All right. Well,
who was that girl then that replaced her? I forget.
Yeah, Bob Swede. Just send an email and then, yeah, I'll try to get a hold of you from there. Worst case scenario, I'll find you again. It should be no big deal. Don't be afraid to go to my social medias and follow us anyways, of course. But that was the icing on the cake, Dave, and that was a different woman. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I forget the name of the woman. I just see her do a sideline reporter at basketball games, thinking it's the same person.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But anyways, I think that's a wrap for tonight. Almost 2 hours and 10 minutes, which might be a record for us. I don't know. Maybe we went longer than that. But yeah, we got 24 days away from the beginning of training camp. So things are going to slowly start getting more exciting for all of us. We got you, Bob Sweet. I'll check the email and stuff. We'll get, yeah, you're good. You're good. This card's going to be here for you no matter what. But all right, everybody. Thanks for popping in. Position battle list with us, me, Dave, and John. I don't know where John went, but it was good. It was good.
Malika Andrews replaced Rachel Nichols in ESPN.
Mariah Taylor. That's the woman, Dave. Maria Taylor.
Oh.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Oh yeah. By the way, GG Sports will be going live this next Monday, and then Wednesday as well. Casey was gone this week. That was the reason why we didn't go live this Monday. But Dave, did you going live tomorrow?
No.
Nope. So us, Dave, next Tuesday and Wednesday again. Us Monday and Wednesday, of course, giving away more Justin Jefferson rookie cards. See y'all later.